Welcome to the first episode of Chef Q Cooks, or CQC, on Chopblock TV. A big thank you to Scott Paulson and Chopblock TV for letting me come and play here, and a big acknowledgement to the Ballsack Jaws of Death bloodline for positioning me to be noticed. Hail Gwar!
In today's episode, Chef Q cooks wings. I know what some of you are thinking. Wings are not the healthiest of choice, but Q believes strongly that we should never food shame. Eat what you enjoy what you eat. If you don't feel good about it, don't eat it. So today, we are feeling good about wings with a side of blue cheese and a crudité, a fancy word for raw cut vegetables.
First, I'm going to prepare the cold ingredients. I'm going to take these vegetables and I'm going to wash them before I cut them up. Because, trust me, they're nasty. You don't know where they've been. Wait, actually you do know where they've been. They've been in the ground, then they've been in the farmer's hands. Do you think they have sinks out there by the farm? No. Then they've been in the back of a truck and some truck driver's been handling them. Then they go to the grocery store where maybe some punk-ass teenager's been handling them, because that's their job and they don't want to be there. And then they sit in the grocery store and everybody comes by with their kids coughing and sneezing all over them. Anyway, trust me, you want to wash them. And I'll talk to you about a sanitizing solution in a minute. But right now I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here. I'm showing you how to make a nice fancy cut so people will be impressed and everybody will be like yada yada yada. You want to cut a flat end on your carrot and flip it, and then so you have a flat end to work off, you cut it again, then you get a nice square. And isn't it funny how a carrot has to become square to be the life of the party? Anyway, then you make 3 equal slices. You take those slices, stack them back up, and make 3 equal slices again. You're gonna want to decide, depending on your size of your carrot, whether it's 3 slices, 4 slices, 2 slices. You see what I'm saying? If you want to do a julienne, a matchstick size one, you want to just cut a little bit more. Please, watch your fingers. Watch the blade. I don't want any blood out there. This is not a Gwar concert. Okay, anyway, back to sanitizing. You can make yourself a simple sanitizing vegetable solution by taking some bleach and adding it to some ice cold water. 2 teaspoons of bleach to a gallon of water. Let your vegetables sit there for at least a minute, maybe 5. Then rinse them off right before you cut them with some clean water. And then you will have killed 99.9% of many bacterias and many viruses, including staph, strep, E. coli, salmonella, as well as the common flu and the common cold. You could also use vinegar if you're a hippie, but it only kills 90% of bacterias and 80% of viruses. Celery is much easier to cut because it's a little U-shape, so you get pretty unified cuts just by slicing down along it. But listen to me, celery is a number of the dirty dozen right now. You can look up on the Environment Working Group to see who they say are the dirtiest vegetables and who are the cleanest. So, you want to clean your celery better and keep an eye out for those fingers. A cup of blue cheese, a quarter cup of sour cream, quarter cup of mayonnaise, some apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons, a teaspoon of sea salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and mix. This is going to be thick because it's a dip. I want it to be easy to shovel into your mouth. Remember, don't double dip. Now it's time to talk about chicken. When you go to buy your chicken, you want it to look and smell fresh. That's kind of a no-brainer. If you can, raise your own chickens, but don't bond with them too much, or you'll feel sad when you have to kill them, and you have to go somewhere in order to do it. I know this from experience. When you're chopping up a wing or any other joint on the chicken, You want to locate where that is and how it moves. It makes it easier to determine where you want to make that cut. Otherwise, you'll be cutting through bone. And any good serial killer will tell you that's not easy work. So you want to take it, if you need to, break it open a couple times, become familiar, and before you know it, you're a certified chicken surgeon. You can quit your day job and operate solely on chickens. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. But once you get familiar with this, it becomes pretty easy and almost fun, I think. I like butchering chickens. Now, if you can, buy fresh chickens from a local farm. If you can't, get those factory farm chickens, but don't do it so often that you feel guilty about it and giving up all hope in the world. If you have a friend that has a chicken, then you can get eggs and you can get nice fresh chicken. All right. Okay, it's time for Chef Q to pop off. Today's topic that I'm about to go off on is whether or not to wash chicken. I say no. And so does the CDC. So there are plenty of people that believe that you need to wash the chicken before you cook it. Julia Childs was one of them. Jacques Pepin, her good friend, did not. I've seen posts that say, hey, and those of you that say that chefs don't wash chicken, chefs do wash chicken. Well, some do and some don't. This one doesn't. And the reason that you're not supposed to, and I'm just laying this out there, if you want to wash chicken and it makes you feel more comfortable, then continue to wash chicken. But listen closely to what I have to say next. The salmonella and the potential bacteria that are on the chicken, when you cook it, they all die. Now, if you wash it in the sink and then it splatters on your plates, or it splatters, and remember that airborne molecules are not visible, you can't see them, so you need to be very cautious here. If it stays in the sink without being sanitized, not washed, sanitized, it will then get on your produce when you go to wash those carrots or celery or whatever we just discussed needs to be washed, or your fresh baby greens that you're washing because they're organic and may have manure on them still. So then they get in contact with these deadly bacteria and they don't get properly cooked. They don't come to a temperature that can kill those bacteria. And that's when people get sick. Salmonella cases do not come from eating undercooked chicken the majority of the time. The majority of the time, they come from produce that's been contaminated by that chicken or by feces that have come in contact with the bacteria. So anyway, that's Chef Q popping off for today. Chicken ain't nothing but a bird. Simple sanitizing bleach solution for everyone. It's on the back of a bleach bottle. 1/4 cup to about 2 quarts of water, and you can use a rag and sanitize everything. Remember, let it sit for about 1 minute to 5 to kill germs. Now back to the chicken wings. Spice mix, we've got thyme, I use some black garlic, I use some sea salt, I use some black pepper and turmeric because I put that in everything, and some ginger, but you can use whatever you want. This is about what mine looked like before I tossed it all about. I'm thinking I had about 1/2 cup, and then I generously coated the chicken with the spice mix, and then I prepared the oil. The oil, you want it to start to dimple. The temperature of the oil is really important. See how it's starting to dimple there with the heat? All right. It's getting close. You can feel the heat rising up off of it. But there's no smoke present yet. Not from the oil. There's some on the burner, but that doesn't count. And then we'll start putting our chicken in. That's what you want to hear. Don't overcrowd. Oh. This little screen jobby came from the dollar store. I think I got 3 of them in a pack for like, I don't know, $5 or $1, whatever. You hear the difference in what the oil sounds like from when I first put it in? That's the moisture coming out. And that's what you're looking for it to sound like before you flip these bad boys over. Again, you can agitate a little bit to really see where the moisture content is. The bubbles start to look different. They're bigger, further apart. That's when they're ready to flip over. If you have deeper oil, if you're really deep frying, then you don't necessarily have to flip them over if they're staying submerged. And they'll start to float when they're ready, as the moisture comes out. So what we did here is we cooked them for about 5 minutes on the first side. I'm going to flip them over and let them cook for at least 5 minutes on this side. See how the bubbles become more agitated when I flip it over because there's more moisture in there? When they're ready, they'll get significantly quieter. 5 minutes on both sides. They're looking about ready. I'll pull one out and test it. Alright. See, to the bone. No blood. That's good. Let's pull them out. Make the sauce. You just want butter, a couple tablespoons, any kind of hot sauce you have in your fridge. This is the butter I used, and the hot sauces that I used was a hot and spicy wing sauce and some rooster sauce, the garlic kind. Mix that together. You throw those hot wings in there, they'll melt the butter. You don't have to melt it separately. You just toss them around and then they're ready to eat. Oh my goodness, look at this. Well, I guess you saw it earlier in the video, but it looks delicious, right? So then you just call up all your friends, say, come over, I got some wings, bring some drinks, we'll have a good time, party's on. But if you're me, you're gonna eat it on a bunch of greens, make it into a salad. You know, if you know me, you know that I say, you know, you gotta get 5 to 7 cups of greens in a day. This is a good way. Does the dog approve? The dog approves. Eat your greens. I love you.